Yeah, so many thanks really to the generosity and support of our partner institutions, special partner institutions, senior special partner institutions, corporate members, and individual members, without whom we would not be here today to bring you our sessions every week. The Agribusiness and Countryside Development Foundation is a member-supported nonprofit organization, and it is through these people that you see on screen right now that we continue to bring you these educational opportunities week after week. And it is through your generosity as well that we try to reach out to them to see what kind of support we need to give them. So thank you very much always. And if you're joining us this morning, welcome. It's nice to see everyone bright and early. Again, I'm your chairman, Julius Barcelona. But if you're joining us through social media 2 weeks later, welcome, and I hope you enjoy today's session. As already mentioned, we are a member-supported nonprofit organization. And if you are interested in viewing more than just what we upload online, we highly encourage you to consider joining us as a member. Our links are in the description. You can send us an email, introduce yourself, and we'd be very glad to have you on board. Thank you very much always for your support. And now I would like to call on our president, Mr. Ernie Ordonez, to introduce our speakers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am very honored and pleased to introduce to you the two speakers we have, Don Ramon Bagatsing and Alessandra Atienza. One of them is personally known to me as a very great person. But instead of telling my background, his background, let's go straight to the point. The talk today is fascinating. It includes both our ideas of countryside development and topic today is fantastic. It's called Eco Hotels and Countryside Development. And instead of the usual introduction, what we do here is we ask the speakers to give 3 to 5 minutes of their own background and how they got into this, because our objective is to work between forums, because our departed chair, Ramon said that our task in this foundation is not just to give information, but to spread the word and use whatever we get from this forum to create jobs and promote development. So actually, we intend to talk to the speakers in video forums to ask how we can help them and how they can help us. All right, so without much further ado, we have this fascinating topic. It combines everything. They talk about tourism and the beauty of our country. They talk about how they employ local people. They talk about how they give jobs. And in all of this, the objective of poverty reduction is also foremost because of the job creation and the economy they bring to their specific areas in different parts of the country. So without much further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Don Ramon Bagatsing, the Chairman and Chief Vice Officer of Eco Hotels, and Alessandra Atienza, the CEO and President. On that note, I turn the floor over to the two of you, and we are so happy you're with us. Please, Mr. Chairman, you can take it away and give the floor to our two fascinating speakers.
Sure, please. All right.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Secretary Ordonez. To the chairman of the Agribusiness and Countryside Development Foundation. Well, first and foremost, we'd like to thank you for inviting us over here. I think Secretary Ordonez hit it right on the bullseye. We really, really believe in countryside development. It's quite ironic because Alessandra and I come from Manila and we live in Manila. I grew up in Sampaloc. She grew up in San Andres Bukid. So it doesn't get more urban than that. So that is as urban as you can get. And yet we saw almost 10, 15 years ago that the countryside has a lot of potential. The Philippines in general has a lot of potential. a lot of people, a lot of Filipinos keep migrating towards city centers, urban centers, Metro Manila. But the truth is, because of interconnectivity, because of infrastructure development, the countryside now has a lot of potential in terms of tourism, in terms of agricultural production, even in terms of industrialization. So early on, Alessandra and I decided that tourism is very important. Tourism has a lot of potential. Our countryside is as beautiful as our neighbors in the ASEAN. And yet you see Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam, they're already way ahead in terms of tourism arrivals, tourism promotion. Early on, we saw that there will come a point where the Philippines will be discovered by the world, the rest of the world. And so from Manila, we decided to go out and see opportunities in our very, very popular tourism destinations. We have Boracay, Bohol, El Nido, Siargao, Batangas, etc., etc. And in going outside to the countryside, we also realized the untapped labor potential. And we also realized the cost of doing business in the countryside is actually cheaper than doing business in urban areas. So that is how eco-hotels came about. At the same time, when we were discovering the potential of the countryside, two things were happening. Number one, the purchasing power of the Filipino was growing in line with our GDP growth. And second, international tourism arrivals were increasing by almost 1 to 2 million arrivals every year. And that was because of all these airports that have been opening all around the Philippines and because of the consistent tourism promotion by our government. So that is how eco-hotels came about. And then as we grew our branches, we decided to hire locally. We decided to purchase and to include the community with regards to the construction and the R&D and food and beverage purchases, and all of these we decided to get within the properties where we had hotels. And then my wife Alessandra started espousing certain environmentally sound policies and principles. So yeah, so maybe Alessandra, you can talk about the Eco Hotels mission,
Okay.
vision.
Allow me to share my screen. This is to, hold on. This is to explain to everyone what Eco Hotel is about and what we have done to be inclusive, for sustainable growth and for countryside development. So our mission actually includes countryside development. We wanted to be the leader in providing spaces, accommodations, homes, and curated experiences in new destination locations. Countryside development implementing ecotourism principles, creating an awareness of each one's role to preserve our home, our environment, our culture, and our society. Of course, increasing sales and profitability year on year. Our vision is to have the most unique and dynamic concepts of eco-hotels designed and operated properties with ecotourism principles and expanding its branches all over the Philippines in new destination locations. To develop its existing land bank with a mix of, one of our brands is, of course, Eco-Hotel as a hotel. We have Dormitals.ph, which is a budget hostel. We have Pops District, commercial walking street or commercial mall. And Ecology Park community, where we intend to develop residential communities with the same ecotourism principles. Of course, we continue to acquire more nature destination land bank for future development and growth, and to be the parent company for all other future business ventures. So what is ecotourism? Ecotourism is also called sustainable tourism, green tourism, nature tourism, responsible tourism, ethical tourism, mindful travel, conscious travel, pro-poor tourism, and many others. Regardless of what you call it, the central concepts that these philosophies share in common are: it is a form of sustainable tourism in a natural or cultural heritage area. Community participation is an element. Protection and management of natural resources, their culture, the indigenous knowledge and practices. Environmental education and ethics are practiced, and economic benefits are fostered for both the enrichment of the host community and the satisfaction of the visitors. One example is supporting the local agriculture and providing education and jobs for the locals. This is something that we are very, very conscious of, and we always are mindful that tourism's effect on communities may be or not be good. So how we manage our environment, community, and our lives reflect our sense of value. Tourism is like fire. You can cook your food with it, or you can burn your house down. Tourism in general is a potentially destructive industry if not managed well, like in the case of Boracay. So with eco hotels, we always consider the triple bottom line: people, planet, and of course, profit to be able to grow. The principles of ecotourism that we apply to our business is, first of all, conservation of natural ecosystems and biodiversity and culture. Community participation in the growth of the local tourism industry. Inclusive growth that involves women, children, indigenous people in the informal sector. Increased awareness on environmental conservation and responsible travel. Balanced development by taking into consideration economic, environmental, and socio-cultural goals. Applying that to eco hotels experience. Eco hotel experience continuum should be life-changing and should have many light bulb moments for the guests in order for the experiences to be memorable and recommendable. Our experiences are authentic, involving culture, environment, and history of the place where we are, educational and interesting, life-changing and life-enhancing, participatory, enriching, and many firsts. Eco Hotel delivers its unique ecotourism experiences by, first, respecting the natural and cultural relevance of the site where the property is located. So we respect the people, the culture, the society of the people that hosts our businesses. We make sure that we always put them into consideration for opportunities to benefit from our existence. A survey of the local community is always done before design considerations. Incidentally, nature tourism and ecotourism are products that the DOT are now pushing to promote the Philippines. Tourists are looking for new destination locations, especially after the pandemic. Specifically, our market is the millennials and Gen Z. Most eco-hotel branches are already in nature destinations, with more nature destinations in its already acquired properties. Our future will always be in the countryside. We have inclusive growth. This is an example of how we get things started in a community. The rightmost in this photo is Arnel. He's the original landowner of our property. He owned the land that was once a swamp inhabited by squatters. Eco Hotels Inc. developed his property into what is now known as Pops District El Nido, Palawan, providing growth for him and his family. He also now runs a travel and tours business and has also become an IP leader in Palawan. He is now the representative of the Cuyunon tribe in the provincial government of Palawan. In red in this photo is now Chairman Ryan. He was the first boatman who toured us around when we were just starting in the community. Eco Hotel's mission is always to give benefit to the indigenous people and of the locality where we stand. In building and our design, Biophilic designed buildings incorporate natural lighting and ventilation, natural landscape features, and other elements for creating a more productive and healthier built environment for people. So that's a design we always implement. Every part of our development has been thought out and meticulously planned. Each detail, from the recycled light fixtures made of bottles or plastic spoons to crosswind ventilation, and open spaces so common areas need no air conditioning. Natural lighting, which saves power consumption, use of refurbished old wood or typhoon fallen trees for construction and design. Eco Hotel's unique buildings, structures make use of repurposed excess from the locality. Homemade bricks and wine and beer bottles for walls are used. Use of rainwater catchment for landscape maintenance. Use of solar water heater and power. All appliances are inverter type, LED bulbs, energy efficient. In construction, we work around the existing trees. So we don't cut them, we just build around them. We also use sustainable wood and preservation of trees found in the property. This is one of our hotels, containers in Tagaytay, where we made use of container vans. This is another property we have in Caliraya, where we also use container vans as rooms. We also recycle old structures, like in the case of our property in Batangas, Mataas na Kahoy, which was for the longest time an unknown location, but actually is as beautiful as Tagaytay. So we are now promoting this community. We are heavily present there, working with the local government. We also use, here are examples of our use of wine bottles. If you would see, the lights are made into bedroom lights, no, from recycled wine bottles. The bed here, we use the panggatong, which we put together, designed nicely so that it looks like a nice headboard. We have a lot of upcycled artwork and furniture. If you would see the old soda, what do you call that? Soda case. We made into a side table.
Basyo.
No, this one. We also recycle old tires. These are recycled old tires that we made into our furniture. And then, of course, we always support the local artists, where we display their work in all our properties. We recycle old equipment into usable furnishings, like this rotary phone used as lamp. Of course, we make use of endemic plants and the preservation of the natural vegetation that we find in the property. Indoor plants such as and other tree climbing plants, palm, aloe plant, fern, snake plants that do not need that much sunlight and water are incorporated into the design with indoor gardens. They help control moisture and thermal comfort that promotes the well-being of the occupant. We continuously plant trees, we preserve the natural vegetation in the area. In our practices also, from the conventional front desk of all hotels, our properties removed the front desk and opted for a one-on-one, face-to-face, personalized, quick and precise 5-minute maximum paperless service. Guests are greeted and asked to enjoy their welcome drinks, our signature lemongrass or tanglad iced tea harvested from the community. We have paperless online check-in, and payment is encouraged, and a verification of identity is all that is necessary upon check-in to avoid extra wastage of paper. Bathroom amenities, consistent with our mission to achieve zero waste. We have toilet kits containing bamboo or wheat toothbrush. For other amenities like bath gel, shampoo, conditioner, and lotion that's suitable for sensitive face, hair, and body are available in refillable dispensers only in each shower room. We do not provide those disposable sachets. Lemongrass is our signature scent. In aromatherapy, lemongrass essential oil are used to help reduce anxiety, relieve stress, and fight depression. Lemongrass is thought to be stimulating and cleansing, uplifting, and energizing. We are pet-friendly. Pets are most welcome in the rooms and the common areas of the hotel. We know that having pets with their owners help promote mental and psychological wellness. In our desire to promote sustainable living, we came up with the greenery. The greenery provides sustainable farm experience, and its produce or the community's produce are sold and used in creating the healthy menu for our guests with freshly harvested eggs and organic vegetables. The community is encouraged to emulate the same practices. Segregation of biodegradable waste is practiced, which forms part of the sustainable farm with the pit to compost, brown material, tree cutting. So we do our own composting in the property. Our cast members are trained to tour, inform, and educate our community and guests on the value of a sustainable lifestyle. We also have, as I mentioned, Pops District commercial area where we actually have tenants that support the hotel. They also practice the same ecotourism practices and sustainability as Eco Hotel. Our procurement can only be towards purchasing reusable, biodegradable, and no single-use plastic. We also have this BYOB, or Bring Your Own Bottle, which is a store without any packaging that supports reduction of non-recyclable plastics and encourages visitors to be environmentally responsible. And for those single-use plastic that end up in our properties, we actually recycle them, either putting them, this is known to everyone, making them into eco bricks, or combining them with our homemade bricks that we use for our property. Eco Hotel has unique products and experiences, and it is a guest promise. We offer unique accommodations from tents to 3-star room designs that are located in the best tourist destinations. And of course, in the future for our future countryside development. And as our mission stated, soon in new tourism destinations, the guests can choose an accommodation fitted to their chosen lifestyle and destination, from a container van or a suite. Unique service that is focused on encouraging guests in supporting sustainability and supporting the community. Unique ways of teaching employees and the community on the values of recycling, planting, and supporting the environment. Unique service that allows pets beside their humans inside our accommodations. Unique menu that promotes local dishes and support for local produce. And unique business practice hinged to benefit the community. As part of our key performance indicators, 70% of employee requirements should be locally hired. And in return for us, we by the way call our employees cast members. Our cast members are multi-talented and multi-skilled in order to provide the most unique service for our guests. We are also multi-awarded because of the efforts of all our cast members and are being unique. We train them not only to serve but educate others on the value of our environment and sustainable practices while working hard to reach their individual key performance indicators. We make an effort to source cast members from the community where our property is located, because we believe in supporting our community and providing them livelihood and training that will uplift their lives and that of the community. They're not just Eco Hotel employees, they are eco warriors who practice what they preach. They are our cast members that embody in them the principles of ecotourism and sustainability. In summary, we are focused on sustainability and the circular economy. Okay, work that we do for the community, aside from being there as an eco hotel. In the last 8 years, our company, through our community works, has the following achievements. We planted thousands of different kinds of plants and trees in the properties and supported the local agriculture, served more than 1 million cups of locally sourced coffee from the community. Employees should always be part of the community service as identified in their KPIs. Our team of eco-warriors have donated housing materials, cleanup drives, and medical, dental, and feeding programs for the communities where we stand. We have provided training and employment to locals and have given opportunities to the communities where we stand. These are the existing eco-hotels in 2022. We have 2 in Tagaytay, 1 in Mataas na Kahoy, Batangas, 1 in Lake Caliraya, Cabinti, Laguna, 1 in El Nido, Palawan. We also have in Puerto Princesa, Pops District. In Siargao, we have Pops District. And all other brands that we have. Our growth in the future is towards the countryside. We have already acquired properties in Quezon, Aklan, other parts of Palawan where there is no development yet as of now. More Siargao, there's a lot of the countryside development that has to be done, and we're working with the local governments to help us implement our goals. We hope that all of you can emulate the same sustainability efforts and the preservation of the social, cultural, economical, and environmental objectives in all our future endeavors. By being here and presenting this all to you, we hope that we can lead by example. Come visit us at www.ecohotels.com.ph. Okay, that ends my my long explanation of what Eco Hotel is about.
Mr. Chairman, as you know, my policies, I'm the last one to ask the questions because everyone's smarter than me. But I'd like to make this an exception because, as Bernie indicated, I'm going to a meeting, 12 farmers, etc. Just to let you know, Mr. Chairman, yesterday I was with the President of 20 leaders, and as MEP ABCD President, I represented our group. I was also elected as the chair of international trade of this legislative council. And I'd like to say that, today is following up what happened with President Marcos. And that's why I have to leave early. But I'd like to say this. This follow-up we're doing is what we request for the president government to do. Puro salita, walang follow-up. So I'd like to state this. I guess it's my first question, etc. I'm usually the last, and I have to leave early. Actually, as our chairman said, after the form, Ernie, you do the work, okay? Don't do the form, then disappear, right? Our group is supposed to bring the knowledge we get in these forms to others. So I'd like to say this. Basically, we are, you heard, wow, right? I think we're all impressed. You've combined everything, no? Knowledge of the environment, giving employment, all that. And your people, you treat them as special people. Not like a lot of people, they treat their employees like their subordinates. Of course, they are, but you give them honor by calling them echoers. You walk the talk. You actually, it's totally fantastic. So my question will be this, no? And I'd like to say that what we learned this forum, for those who listen online, we need different groups, no? Because we want to spread the light, and we get our inspiration from the speakers. Because all of us, after this, we're told by our departed chairman, go forth and do what you can. Don't let this just be a talk. Go into action. And that's my question. We are here. We are students, but not young students. We're students who have experience and connections and all that. We want to give what God gave us, like the connections, the grids, to spread. So, for example, when you have speakers, sometimes they don't have connections with government. We're in touch with the bureaucrats because of our experience and our reputation. I think we're the only one in the whole country that has every week a seminar. Secondly, with a new group, because before everyone was over 65 in the board, now everyone is below 45. Like you, they're young, right? Except there's an old dinosaur like me, but I'm just a kind of a figurehead. But with these guys, they went from 50 a month to, more than 5,000 through YouTube and all that. We went from Manila to the whole world now. 20% is abroad, the Middle East, Southeast Asia. We get calls from abroad. In fact, I'm going to ask this question, but the question, I want you to give a phone number, whether it's office or personal, because we want people from all over the world to be in touch with you. No? So give us your office number, whatever, right? Okay, so basically, here is the question. The question is, how can we, listening here and online, how can we, who have been given by God connections and experiences, such as contacts with banks to get money, we help people get loans to connect to certain bureaucrats. One example is that they had a local UP Los Baños had a thing waiting there for 4 months. We called them up in 1 week. It was done. Talks with banks, government people, other people, etc. How can we help spread the word about you? No, or otherwise, how can we help you in your mission? Because your mission is totally fantastic, right? People, planet, profit, fantastic. How can we help you? That is my question. How can we help you? And I'd like to let you know that we, the board, the young board, except the dinosaur, they look at these things and they found out, what can we do with the knowledge you gave us to spread the word and help alleviate poverty and all that. So that's my question. Incidentally, give me your phone number first. Give me your office number. And people abroad, they use Viber. They don't hesitate to call from abroad now. No. So give your number. Then how can we help you? Correct. Okay. So we can spread the word and spread your work. That's my question, which had a long preface. So, Alessandra and Ramon, thank you for coming. Can either of you answer that question, or both of you answer that question? How can we help you in your mission?
Okay. First and foremost, Secretary Ordonez, the mere fact that you invited us to this forum is already one way of helping us. So there's an advocacy behind our business, like what Alessandra said. It's purpose, people, and profit. So first of all, is disseminating the information that you can make money, but at the same time, making sure people around you are happy as well, and you kind of uplift them as well. Hindi naman pwede naman na lahat happy, lahat kumikita. So instead of getting your supplier, tapping your supplier in Manila, you just go out, talk to your neighbor, and then you'd be surprised at how they can help. So inclusivity is one way. So looking at your neighbor, not being very not fearful is the wrong word, eh. Parang being very relaxed at your environment or wherever it is you are. So whether you want to put up a small karinderya in Cebu or in Tagaytay or in Mindanao, you don't have to invite friends over from Manila to go all the way to Mindanao. It's a matter of knocking at doors. Alessandra will give you our numbers, Secretary, after this. So number 1. Number 2, we only have one country. We only have one planet. And, being very patriotic, we'd like to do our small part in helping our country. So by opening a hotel and using everything recycled and talking to our neighbors and being inclusive, that's one way of helping our country. I mean, you don't have to be in government to help. Anybody can help. A tricycle driver, a pedicab driver, a street vendor, they can also help in their small way by picking up the trash at the end of the day, by turning off the gasoline in their tricycle or motorcycle or jeep while waiting for passengers to come. These are small incremental steps in helping the environment, in doing their small part. But then collectively as a whole, you'll see that you can actually make change.
Also, the industry by which we chose to come in is tourism, which we know has a great multiplier effect on the economy. And we believe that with tourism growing, the country will grow with it. So we are pushing for the our projects to move forward. If there's anything we need help as a company, it probably would be, of course, funding, because the reason why we grow is because of our cash flow and a few banks that help us. We are doing this in our private capacity. So, of course, our funding is not exactly limitless. So that's where we are still seeking for support, but we know we will be growing. It's just a matter of time, no? But then growing in the countryside would be the best for us as a company. We already see how much we can benefit all the locals in the community. Luckily also, Don and I come from political families, but not necessarily politicos. So it's easy for us to communicate with the local government. National government, we don't normally deal with them, but the local government, municipal mayors, they've been very open in supporting our cause, and they believe that we could benefit their localities. As for the phone number, I think I should just announce it, no? If anyone wants to call us, it's 0917 590 1500. I'm going to type it here so that you'll have reference for them. Yes. Okay, there. That's the number that you can contact us in.
Mr. Chairman, just my parting thing as I go to the meeting. Well, you mentioned you both belong to political families. I'm the older generation. I know your parents, and they're fantastic. I mean, many people, you know, they think politicians are selfish. Well, the fruit, fantastic. I've seen them work and all that for the people, and I am glad. Usually, the younger generation is better than older generations. I hope that will be true for you too. But I just want to say this: no, we want to pursue your parents' missions, right? But then this is your mission, so we want to pursue your mission more because our people, our members, are getting younger and younger, more like your age, right? And therefore, we the old guys want to make sure that you guys do a better job than us guys, because well, we did that, we tried, but we haven't failed. We haven't succeeded so well. But people like you did not exist in our generation, right? I mean, people like you have everything: environment, and hiring locals, etc. So I just want to say this. Thank you for coming, and give our regards, our entire mission to your I won't call it ancestors, but to the root which bore such good fruits in you, right? So anyway, thank you for coming. I'll be signing off soon, but we'll be in touch, and I have your number is for everyone to know: 0917-590-1500. I want to say thank you too, because many people they give office numbers, but you've been a cell number, for God's sake. That's really accessible, and they might call you from Germany and America. But it's all because we want to join you, etc. And if you need funding, we have people in our group that are bankers, etc. So sometimes one person came in out to financial presentation, so we talked to the president of the land bank and we gave it, etc. So we want to help you, and congratulations. And I'm signing off for now, but very soon I'll be in touch with the two of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary.
Okay. So yeah, thanks very much for that, President Ernie, and good luck on your meeting today. Okay, so yeah, so for anyone who would like to ask questions in our open forum, there are a couple of options that you can do so. First of all, please check your computer screens. If you're on your computer, at the bottom you'll see a button that says reactions. If you click that, it will say raise hand, and that will line you up for the for any questions you might ask. If you're on your cell phones, if you're either on Android or an iOS, you have either 3 horizontal lines or 3 dots. You can tap that. That should show you also the option that says reactions. Tap that again, and then you'll see raise hand. So again, that will line you up for any questions. Otherwise, you can put your question in the chat box, and I'll try to get to that as soon as I can. Barring that, if all else fails, I'll ask Bernie and Vivian to please help me catch my attention if in case somebody is trying to ask a question and I haven't noticed them. Okay, so I already see some hands raised. Can I ask Attorney Dulce to, yeah, please come in.
Okay. Good morning, and thank you very much, Don, of course, and Alessa for the very inspiring presentation. I am Dulce Punsalan, the Corsec of ABCD MAP, and also a Philippine representative to the very recent APEC workshop on integration of small farmers into the global value chain. And I think many of the best practices that you presented is actually aligned towards that. So I think one question would be, why target the Gen Z and the millennials specifically for the eco hotels? And secondly, what were the challenges that you encountered in changing the mindset of the different sectors that you worked with in separate locations? Even though all of them are practically in Luzon, right? But I'm sure that in each of these communities, there are unique characteristics and cultural traditions that have to be talked about. And then how do you harmonize now the traditions with the innovations that you want to do?
Okay, first and foremost, thank you for the question. We decided to tap the Gen Z and millennials because they comprise the largest section of our population. We have 110 million Filipinos right now, and we're growing like 1 million new Filipinos a year. And of that big number, 60 or 70% is between the ages of 18 to 40. And this demographic bracket is actually earning, educated, willing to take on new experiences, willing to travel on the weekend with the barkada. So it's a very productive demographic. And our hotels aren't really five-star hotels. They cater to the middle income bracket. So between 3,000 to 8,000 pesos is our average room rate. So that's why we decided to tap that market. And we also believe that that market, the millennial, the Gen Z, as you mentioned, they're the ones that are most, they can absorb the most in terms of new practices, new policies, environmental conservation, environmental appreciation for culture. So it's easy to change their minds ba, or to educate them to help the environment. Of course, there were obstacles at the beginning. They didn't understand when Alessandra would do certain policies or say something in the hotels na ganito, ganyan, ganyan, which she'll mention later on. It was difficult, but after 1 or 2 years, it caught on already. And of course, social media was a very, very big factor in our growth and in how we would educate the people or our guests. And as for your participation in the farmers, because you mentioned you deal a lot with the farmers. By being inclusive, in most of the restaurants or in the dining, the food and beverage areas in our hotels, we buy from the farmer across us all the time. That is always the number one priority. Kung si Manong is planting talong right beside us, okay, we will buy all your talong, Manong, and then we will come up with a menu and a dish that will highlight what you plant outside. So it becomes circular. The flow of money becomes circular and then everyone benefits. Alessandra, can you continue?
Yeah, let me just explain also, may kwento a little bit, no, how we started. The first branch was actually in Tagaytay across Ayala Serene Mall. At that time, Ayala Serene Mall was not there yet. So it was like all empty lots in there. We opened our first eco hotel in 2015, early 2015. It's non-traditional, of course. As you saw the design, it was different, all upcycled, recycled. In the beginning, it wasn't really well understood by the market. So the reviews were not good. We were lined together with higher end hotels. The hotel rates then in the comparables would be like from 8 to 15,000, and ours was 3,000 to 8,000, still in the same line, enjoying the same Taal Lake view. But the market didn't understand. The rooms are small because we wanted to make it just right for sleeping, not no luxurious space there. So I had to close the hotel for a bit because we were misunderstood by the market. The moment we came out on TV promoting the green practices and what we did, explaining how we did things, then the millennials and the Gen Zs responded so well to it. They started flowing into the hotel. That made us grow. It was that market specific that we didn't intentionally really tap them in the beginning, but they were the ones that were most responsive. They felt there was that sense of mission when they stay in a hotel like ours. And then it grew from there. So imagine doing a non-traditional structure, non-traditional hotel practices, teaching them to do things on their own, not hard selling, but reminding them to recycle their own trash. There's always 2 bins inside the bathrooms, reminding them of all these little things that they could do. It became actually, I would say, a trend for a lot of other hotels, because I know that today being green is like it's not anymore a unique point, but it's more of like something that everyone just has to do. So that's a good thing. We were able to influence the industry, I would say, somehow. And also the local government, as I mentioned earlier, we always work with them. We always tap them and make sure they know what we are doing. Did we answer everything, Attorney Dulce?
Yes. Actually, I can relate very much because I'm a backpacker. And at the same time, I'm the Special Projects Director for Green Architecture Advocacy Philippines. So
Mm.
we hope to
Okay.
partner with you soon. We can discuss it after in the forum. So thank you very much. Very inspiring.
Okay, backpacker.
We'd invite you, Sana. We'd like to invite all of you to come visit our hotels. Our number is there. We posted. Let us know when you want to come by.
Okay. Thanks very much for that, Attorney Dulce. Okay. There's a question in the chat box that was sent to me directly. Is it all right with the both of you if I share your slides after this presentation, after the session to our members?
Yes, yes,
Uh,
sure.
okay, sure. So I'll send that to because Miss Bernadette Fernandez was asking for some more information about that. Okay. Next I see Richard. Richard, please. Richard? Arsena? Your hand's raised. Do
Hello,
you have a question? Yan.
hello, hello. Thank you, Sir Julius.
Ah,
Thank you so much for the Eco Hotel Movers. My question is, I'm a person with severe disability, but my passion is ecotourism and traveling around the country and even traveling around the world. I have noticed that one of the greatest challenge is we are not enjoying the facilities because of even the five-star hotel are not accessible for persons with disability and elderly and those with mobility challenges. So I would like to know whether it is included in the mission and the actions of your Eco Hotel business. Thank you.
Go. Arsena.
Actually, of course, we are also required by law, no, all establishments to always be PWD accessible. So we always provide that in our structures. As far as special programs for PWD, we treat you guys as just like anyone else. So you're free and welcome to join us in all our programs. Anything special for PWD? I'm a PWD myself. Not halata, but I am. What else can you say? I am enjoying everything there.
We've noticed in some of our properties na, especially with our properties that have a nature feature, we really have a lot of senior citizens and
Mhm,
persons with disabilities coming. We adhere to all the requirements by law regarding benefits and to make it easier for them, no? The discounts, the accessibility, the seamless, I think that's the best word, the seamless motion of people with disabilities and senior citizens to get from one point to the other. So we adhere to that and we try our best to do that. I just like to add certain functions, no, certain aspects. Aside from the fact that we adhere to the PWD and the senior citizen advocacies to make our properties more seamless from point A to point B, moving from point A to point B. We are also the only, I'd like to claim this, no? We are also the only pet-friendly chain in the country. Yes, there are a lot of hotels now that are pet-friendly. Even restaurants now are pet-friendly. But in our case, all our properties, all, as in all branches, are pet-friendly. So aside from the fact that we adhere to PWD and senior citizen advocacies, we're also a pet-friendly hotel chain.
Mhm.
And that's why I look forward to collaborate with one of your members, Mr. Robert Yupanco of Zumanity, who's a good friend of my father.
Also, just to let you know, our head chef, the one that expanded our restaurant line, is also a PWD person who had a stroke. But he is functioning very well, very intelligent, limited in movement. And we always want to make sure that everyone's treated equal, no, whether you're PWD or no PWD. Our head chef is the head. It does not limit anything. In fact, in our Mataas na Kahoy branch, because it's a nature destination, so there are a lot of that's it. It's a hilly area, so it's difficult for PWD physically disabled not to be walking around. So we're actually in the process of developing another area specific to providing a ramp for them and enjoying the same view without having to go down the stairs. We're always considerate of everyone, no? And we see naman there's a lot of senior citizens that come our way, and we really need to make sure our facilities are friendly to everyone. Richard, I hope
Hey,
it's good.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mahaba-haba yun.
Just 1 minute follow-up reactions. Yeah, because I am after on accessible tourism. So we look forward to partner with you, and thank you for ABCD map for this opportunity that I always be invited, because this is the only way I can convey to the general industry about our situation. So we look forward to visit some of your hotel, and we're willing to promote if on the world global standard on disability, because I'm also a board of director of Global Disability Union based in Turkey. So we are providing seal of accessibility universal compliance. So we look forward to working. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Richard.
Okay. Elsa is asking if you could go into a bit more detail about how you manage the waste materials during the operations. I think you touched on it a bit in your presentation, but I think maybe she'd like to learn more, or maybe you could go into a bit more detail about it.
Actually, in areas where like Batangas, we have a lot of space, no? We are able to do our composting pit, which of course is a natural, all the cuttings and the biodegradable waste are placed and then covered with brown material. We have our chicken that actually makes kalaykay the trash because it needs to be aerated. And then these chickens are actually the ones that lay the eggs. So we're able to actually harvest a lot of compost, no, from our composting pits. But in areas like Tagaytay, where our location is limited, we just create segregation, and then the materials are picked up by the local government. But the biodegradable, we are still able to compost them in elevated pits. Rather than nakataas siya, and then that's where we drop all our biodegradable, of course, with the brown material. And then they do end up as composting materials for our plants. So the process goes on. It's a simple process. I can even give talks if you want me to talk about it further, to explain, no, to different facilities or whoever is interested to do composting in an urban environment or even in the provinces.
So first, we'd like to present our certificate of appreciation to both Ramon and Alessandra, if we can share that on screen. All right, so the Agribusiness and Countryside Development Foundation Incorporated, in partnership with the Management Association of the Philippines, together with our partner institutions, special partners, senior special partners, corporate members and individual members, all present the certificate of appreciation to Don Ramon Bagatsing and Miss Alessandra Atienza for their invaluable support in the advocacy and promotion of agribusiness and countryside development, and for their commendable and unselfish services rendered to this foundation as our resource speakers, given on our 25th weekly online meeting for 2023, July 11, in Makati City, Philippines. Signed myself as our chairman and Ernie Ordonez as our president. And now may I please invite everyone to turn on your cameras for a quick group photo. So Cameras on if you can. And big smiles, everyone. Okay, Vivian, can you count us in?
All right po, we only have one page po. Smile on three. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much po.
Thank you very much for that. And for those of you again, for those of you who are joining us through our social media uploads 2 weeks later, thank you very much for being with us this morning. Unfortunately, this is the extent of what you can get for free. And as I mentioned earlier, the Agribusiness and Countryside Development Foundation is a nonprofit member-supported organization. If you do want to, like the rest of our audience today, join us for the informal session after this, where we continue to engage with our speakers, or if you'd like to gain access to our wide network of agribusiness and countryside development organizations, consider joining us as a member. We rely on your support and your generosity to continue bringing you our educational sessions every week. And we would very much love to have you on board. Our links are in the description. You can send us an email, introduce yourselves, and we'd be happy to get to know. But with that, I'd like to say goodbye to everyone in the formal session. For those of you who can stay, please stay. But for now, thanks very much for joining us, and we hope to see you again soon.